It's still breaking up for you guys.
Can you please speak Asim?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaykum salam. It is,
Okay. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanatan wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli waj'al li waziran min ahli هارون أخي أشدد به أزري واشركه في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين الحمد لله رب العالمين. Welcome, dear friends. Inshallah, we will continue our discussion on the man's immortality, spiritual beings in this world, and the hereafter resurrection, inshallah. So we were discussing about the angels in our discussion and other spiritual beings that we are encountering in our daily interactions with the things in the universe, but we may not really be understanding that we are actually in the realm of angelic beings with the meaningful side of creation. So that's what this section is kind of awakening us to understand that we are living in the midst of angelic presence that we experience as well. So we kind of, last time we discussed a few matters, which I took some notes for that basically, and then I'll read some of that. So belief matters cannot be based on narrations. So if I hear a narration from, let's say, even the prophetic narration, I cannot just establish belief based on that. Okay, he said so, so that is it. No, I have to confirm it. Right. So we should have this understanding when studying commentaries on the Quran or Hadith narrations. No one should invite the reader to believe in something ghaibi. So classical books from the old scholarship were meant for the conditions and challenges of their time, which is not applicable to this century, which looks for evidence based on how science says that we are, this whole science says we bring evidence. So that's why you should follow the scientific method, right? So the evidence is something that is something this century, everybody is looking for that. So everyone is a child of their own time. So that was a beautiful phrase Brother Ali shared with us, right? So according to their which generation they are at, and everybody is a child of their own time. For example, no one uses the 18th century practice from, let's say, Ibn Sina or some other scholar right now in the medical field, tips that were great for their time, but not in our time. So we kind of focused a lot on that last time. And then continuing on, related to the ghaibi matters of spiritual beings, which is the topic we were kind of going into, right? So we witnessed thousands of examples of spiritual beings when we interact with creation, bottoming or sight. So when eating a fruit, the taste, smell, beauty, the joy I feel, they're all not physical beings that I experience. So if I'm convinced about the existence of spiritual beings, then when the Quran mentions angels, I cannot deny it as I am already experiencing them in my living. So this is a very good example in terms of how everyday, okay, so my internet connection is unstable interaction. So if I go out and look at the plants, so there's the, right, if I'm drinking water, the angelic side of that interaction is there, right? And my feeling, second part where the author was showing the different categories of worship by different kind of angels, right? So as far as we are concerned, we see life in plants, animals, and human beings. So don't we see that the appearance of life is different within the three beings, between animals, plants? Everybody has been given life accordingly to them, right? So according to them. So in the existence of a stone, we don't see life as much as we see in the existence of animals. So according to perception, we can categorize angels in many categories. For example, the existence of a seed shows Hafiz, preservation. The fruits show, and the whole galaxy, solar system shows symmetry, equilibrium, precision in the precise calculations, etc. All right. Anybody wants to comment on this summary so far?
From time to time, you are
Brother
breaking
Ali?
up. From time to time, you are breaking up in
I'm
my.
breaking up. Oh,
I don't know whether you can change
oh,
position if it
yeah,
comes.
my connection is maybe weak today. Okay, let me see. Second. I'll try to do some hotspot business here. But the angelic side is not cooperating with me right now of the Wi-Fi system. Mhm. Yeah, second or so. Interesting. Okay, my hotspot. Let's see if that works.
I don't hear anything now.
Okay, can you guys hear me now? Hello, can you guys hear me? Yes, okay. All right, looks like the stream is continuing, which is good. Okay. So if I share my screen, let's see if my bandwidth kind of suffers or not. All right. I am sharing again. I think my connection is weak today, but hopefully you guys can hear me. All right, so where did we stop? All right, you see the screen and you can hear me as well, I hope, right? Okay, perfect. All right, let's do that. So I was saying basically, I hope you got the summary of this, basically. So I said we cannot believe matters related to Ghaibi cannot be based on narrations. That was the first one. And the other part was about the spiritual beings is something we are always interacting with. And this is what this text actually is making sure that we kind of grasp that, yes, we are living in the angelic presence in our while we are living in this life, right? So whatever we do, we are kind of dealing with the meaningful side, the non-physical beings, which are the spiritual beings, right? And then the last part was basically the categorization of every being has different kind of life within them. For example, the seed shows the Hafiz preservation quality in it for the next generation. The fruits show beauty, balance, harmony, symmetry, and the solar system shows symmetry, equilibrium, position, precision, and the precise calculations. Thank you. All right. So now the author gives an example of how the different workers are in terms of all sorts of different beings that we interact with, just like every being, an insect may have a life of a few days, one will have a life of a week. Maybe dogs have a life of like 18, 20 years. Human beings, different people have different lives that they have. So just like that categorization happens, so are the angelic presences, the workers that we interact with, millions of different interactions that we kind of face from the angelic side. So, like in a government, there are various officials in the various offices. So, the duties of worship and glorification vary in the spheres of the realm of dominicality. For example, through the power, strength, reckoning, and command of God Almighty, the Archangel Michael is like a general overseer of God's creatures sown in the field of the face of the earth. If one may say so, he is the head of all the angels that resemble farmers. Right, so Michael is in charge, the head of everything on earth that is happening. So just like a, a farmer takes care of his crops, so they're angels basically that are looking over at the whole earth and the fields of the and through the permission, command, power, and wisdom of the all glorious Creator, the incorporeal shepherds of all the animals have a head, a supreme angel appointed to the task. So a leader angel who takes the lead in the guardianship of all the animals, but incorporeal shepherd, right? So just like the incorporeal farmer for the land, basically, that is being taken care of. by Archangel Michael. So similarly, in the animal kingdom, plant kingdom, insect kingdom, incorporeal shepherds are overseeing them because they all come with different meanings. All the plants, different kind of variations of plants have their own qualities, their own meanings behind it. And that is the angelic side of it, the incorporeal side. So thus, since it is necessary for there to be an angel appointed over each of these external creatures, in order to represent in the world of the inner dimensions of things the duties of worship and service of glorification which it performs, and to present them knowingly to the divine court. So I bolded the word knowingly because of the significance of it in terms of they're consciously basically to present them knowingly to the divine court. So they take the glorification to whoever made them, to the divine court, to the Lord of the universe. That's how they perform their worship, right? And then with my abilities given to me, can read those glorifications in the beings as well. So they're announcing with every being is kind of announcing from their angelic side all the different qualities, and I can read them from my being. Let's say the flower, the beauty of the flower is the one of the glorifications the angelic side of the flower is making, and I can see that when I interact with the flower to see its beauty, the smell that I get from the flower. So they're like two, three angels that I interact with. Right? So they're declaring the glorification of their Lord. So that's how they are worshipful beings and consciously, knowingly to the divine court. So the way the angels are described in the narrations of the bringer of sure news, peace and blessings be upon him, referring to the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, the bringer of sure news, is certainly most appropriate and rational. For example, he declared, there are some angels which have either 40 or 40,000 heads. So in one of the hadith narrations, so in all the heads are 40,000 mouths, and with the 40,000 tongues in each of those mouths, they glorify God in 40,000 ways. This hadith has a reality and both contains a meaning and has a form or manner of description. Its meaning is as follows. So this whole hadith narration describing the angels having 40 or 40,000 heads. The angels' worship is both extremely orderly and perfect. So extremely orderly and perfect. This is the qualities of their worship, and most universal and comprehensive. As for the form of the truth, it is this. There are certain mighty corporeal beings that perform their duties of worship with 40,000 heads in 40,000 ways. For example, the heavens glorify God with the suns and the stars, while the earth, which is a single being, performs its duty of worship. Its dominical glorification with 100,000 heads and with the hundreds of thousands of tongues in each mouth to the number of beings on earth. So that's my addition to the hundreds of thousands of tongues in each mouth. So I said to the number of beings on the earth, right? Every being on earth is performing its duty of worship, glorification. Thus, the angel appointed to the globe of the earth has to be seen in this way in order to display this meaning in the world of the inner dimension of things. The inner dimension of things, referring to the angels, what their meaning of those each and every being on earth is. So there are so many varieties of beings on earth, right? We keep discovering many new things on earth, and they all come with their qualities, their properties. So they have their meaningful side, their angelic side, that they glorified the one who made them. Any comments or anybody wants to share anything before I move on to the example of the author himself? Okay. Hopefully my voice is coming through. All right. I myself even saw a medium-sized. Okay, before I go there, Brother Ali, please go ahead.
I felt that I need to share 2 points with you that occurred to my mind. One is, I think those of you, maybe all of you, remember that we likened this analogy to the government administration. For example, there is only one president, but the president has many departments, department of minister of something, and each department has general directors working under the same, and then subdivisions. I think we can understand this like in a government example. Uh, Look at the term is used as the inner dimension of things. It's alem-i melekut. Yeah, we say the Quran says melekutiyet. This side of the world has also the same government system. Why not? Physically, we are seeing here. So we categorize them plants. How many kinds of plants? Animals. That's what I know. Animals. How many kinds of animals are there? Million. So let's come one kind. Which is that? I know the number. That's why I am going to give the example. Butterflies. How many kinds of species of butterflies are there? 17,000. So the inner dimension of this kind of creation must be the same as well, because they are the reflections, physical reflections of the reality of the creation. So if creation appears to be in this way, that means the angelic side must have these qualities as well. But that is one point. The second point is these beings are conscious. Angelic side is conscious. That is what knowingly is, as you know, then to present them knowingly to the divine court. We may think that if something has no free will, we think that it has no consciousness. Because in our observation, consciousness is understood when we communicate with this thing whatever we are communicating with, of course, inner dimension is communicated through our spiritual qualities, feelings, intellect. But physical dimension is realized through uh, our power of sight, power of hearing, touching, tasting, smelling, this kind of physical tools. But inner sight of the things we communicate not our physical tools like eyes, like ears, but with our consciousness. We are aware when we see something that it is beautiful and we love beauty. This relationship, we may not be aware that our physical tools, like nose, like eyes, our physical tools communicate with its physical aspect of the creation. But our consciousness, our intellect, communicates with its consciousness side of it. This is only a logical conclusion. How can I prove which exists in a non-material substance, whether it has consciousness or not, by using my physical tools? Impossible. Why? Because it is not the way of communicating with the spiritual side, angelic side of the universe. If my relationship with the angelic side of the beings, so this relationship is from my side a conscious relationship. I am aware that I love beauty. I am aware that I love tidiness. For example, uh, this communication takes place from my physical, excuse me, spiritual consciousness. So I must conclude that logical conclusion, we need to remember belief in ghaib, in God, in angel, in hereafter, all are the logical conclusions. Belief in angels must be also ghaib and logical conclusion. I know physical tools communicate the physical appearance of the beings. And my consciousness communicates with this spiritual side of it, inner dimensions of the things. It is translated according to the Quran, melekut of the things. And I practically experience that I know beauty exists. And I am practicing, I love beauty. So this relationship must necessarily be a conscious relationship because I am consciously establishing the relationship with them. The opposite side, by definition, logical definition, must be conscious. Otherwise, I cannot really claim for no reason that angels are conscious beings. Now, as my consciousness automatically connected to the inner dimension of Melekutiyet side of the things, without using my free will, I use my free will to look at this way or this way. I use my free will to deny the truth or not deny the truth. But my consciousness knows the truth. My responsibility is to use my free will to deny or to confirm. It means to submit myself to the truth or not to submit myself to the truth, rejected. That is my free will. So I understand my consciousness works automatically. So as a logical conclusion, angels have no free will, but they are conscious, like my consciousness side of it. That's what I am experiencing. Logically, I have to confirm that logical necessity shows me that I have to confirm the angelic side of beings, inner dimensions, which is translated here. But I would say angelic dimensions of things must be like me, communicating at the same level, must have the same qualities. Angels don't have free will, but they are conscious beings. That is belief in ghaib, and is not only superstition at all, it is logical conclusion. I have to submit my free will to accept this logical conclusion. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Ali. Yeah. So when I talk to like a human being, basically, so that's their conscious human being. That's like we have an exchange of conversation. So that's my experiential conclusion as well, right? So when logical is one, let's say if I'm looking at a flower, I know that the conscious side of the flower, like the beauty part, the smell, must be conscious. I can logically conclude, but I cannot really experience that. Okay, yeah, this is I'm interacting with a logical, I mean, like with a conscious kind of angels here, but with humans or animals, it's much easier in terms of the interaction because they expose or they show the consciousness aspect, right? The flower doesn't really show the, to what I'm aware of, the conscious ability side of it. But logically, I can think about it.
Yes, that's an excellent example. Excellent. I really liked it. When I speak to the person, if he speaks to me with meaningful sentences, then I say this person is a conscious being. How do I know? The way he speaks. I don't know his consciousness. I communicate with his sentences, with his speech, with my spiritual side. I hear the voice through my ears, but to discover the meaning, decipher the meaning is my spiritual side. My spiritual side must be communicating with the spiritual side of this person. If I am consciously aware of the meaning, I can logically conclude that this person is speaking to me with consciousness, although I haven't seen any physical sign of consciousness. No one sees it. And I know, I don't see my consciousness within my physical existence, but I am fully aware of it. That is my conclusion. That is why we have to feel very comfortable when we claim to believe in ghaib and all the qualities, characteristics of the ghaib. We must be very comfortable rather than, I don't know, Quran says so. This kind of the explanations are not confirmation. Well, they are just information transformation, nothing else. It is not belief. Thank you.
Thank you, inshallah. All right. Any other comments by anyone or any thoughts on this? All right. Right. Any comment on this one? The worship is both extremely orderly and perfect based on our logical conclusion because I think the free will comes for human beings. That's the only distinction between the angels and human beings. So they obey the command as they are, and human beings have the free will. Inshallah. All
Yeah,
right.
the appearance of it is orderly, perfect. For example, if a child speaks to you, you don't see the perfection in his language. Example, simple example. You know that his consciousness side at the childhood level is not well developed. It isn't that our daily experience in this world. We say it is a child.
Right. Yes.
Let him or her grow. Now, afterwards, if we listen to a person speaking to us, and if we see that his sentences were, it sounds perfect, meaning, transfers meaningful, logically consistent, what would you say? This person is very conscious of what he is saying. Now, according to the appearance, logical conclusion says, by taking the example of my qualities, not something as imaginary. No, I hear the voice with my ear, my intellect, my consciousness understands the meaning, communicates with the meaning automatically. If I hear the message perfectly making sense, I will say their fulfillment of their duty must be perfect, and this perfection shows that they are obeying the way they are created, or the way they are created for, to demonstrate it. Of course, before this, we have to understand that the things cannot have their angelic side by themselves. If someone says the matter or the word existed by itself, oh, we cannot talk anything to this crazy man. Because the first premise is absurd. So I don't follow his second and third premises, stages of thinking at all, because first premise is wrong. But because somebody believes in God, doesn't necessarily that this person should believe in angels. No, he has to continue his investigation and questioning.
Yep. Inshallah. And also, like the mighty corporeal beings, like this, for example, the heavens and the suns and the stars are representatives of the heavens who perform the worship as well by serving us, the suns and the stars, right? So they also represent the whole heavens worship. All right, so let's move on if anybody wants to comment. Yes. So I myself even saw a medium-sized almond tree, which had close to 40 large branches like heads. When I looked at one branch, I saw it had nearly 40 smaller branches like tongues. Then I looked at one tongue of one of those small branches. 40 flowers had opened on it. I studied the flowers, considering the wisdom in them, and saw in each close on 40 exquisite and well-ordered stamens, colors, and arts, each of which proclaimed one of the all-glorious Maker's names or qualities and their constantly varying manifestations. Is it at all possible that the all-wise and beauteous one, who is the all-glorious maker of the almond tree, would impose this many duties on an inanimate tree and not mount on it an appointed angel appropriate to it, to be like its spirit, to understand and express its meaning, proclaim it to the universe, and present it to the divine court? It's a wonderful question, I would say, right? So, matter by itself without an inanimate tree, without any meaning qualities, right? It's not really, there's no such matter that exists. So, every being is made with certain properties, certain qualities. That's why there are appointed angels appropriate to that being. And some people, the material minded, say, okay, the matter is the one that owns those properties, it belongs to them, right? But they're being appointed angels appropriate to it. So just like Brother Ali was saying earlier, the qualities are given to it. They're not, they don't come by themselves. Okay. Any comment or question?
Uh, I think in our existence
Hmm.
as we are, we know that we have our physical body and we experience that we have our feelings. And of course, most important of the feeling is consciousness, intellect. We have this. So if someone denies angels, must deny his own spirit, his own feelings. But when it comes to me, I have my feelings. When it comes to the other creatures, they don't have their spirit. Oh, no, everybody has its spirit according to its capacity. So cat has its catness as it is spirit. We say, oh, this is a cat. They have to do this. That's their uh, qualities. So the quality of catness, being a cat, catness, being a cat is, it is his inner dimension. So this inner dimension has many qualities. We know that cat, we can communicate with it. It comes and shows affection to you and then expect affection. And their purpose of creation to catch any other animal in the house. So they automatically do this. They don't have free will. Human beings have, but they don't have. So, but as human consciousness operates automatically, his angelic side operates automatically. So, book, example again, book has no option not to convey the meaning inscribed in its angelic side. It has to do it. That is, it is obudiyah. The other creatures have the same qualities. The book is an just metaphor, using as an analogy. So we can use our mind and conclude that there must be a, a spirit for every being, according to their capacity. No, I'm not a cat. Cat is not a human being. So obvious. That's how I am made. That is how it is made. It's not difficult at all to believe in angels and being aware that they are conscious beings, and their duty is to proclaim, declare the qualities of their creator and demonstrates it in their physical form, like it here example, almond tree. That is how the reality of creation is. Simple.
Thank you, Brother Ali. All right. All right, this is a comment. Let's see. So, for yes, no one can deny the act of creation that we observe in creation, which is performed by the angels at the command of the executor of this universe. Same with our senses and human qualities, performed by unlimited angels at the command of our creator. All right. Thank you, Fariha.
That is how it should be.
Inshallah, yeah.
But we shouldn't forget that human beings have free will. Now, free will is very essential that we have to be very careful. Do you remember in our discussions, we always uh, mention and also emphatically mention that we have to watch out for our free will. Our responsibility is, if you like, focused or mm, on the axis of free will. Now, I have spirit, correct, but free will, free will. You have a spirit, but it doesn't mean that you will use the qualities of this spirit in the right way. So that is our reality, but our responsibility is being careful about our free will. How am I using it? Always we have to ask this question to ourselves. How am I utilizing my free will? That is the point, inshallah.
Inshallah. Okay, so, oh friend, so far our explanation has been an introduction to bring the heart to acceptance, the reason to submission, and to compel the soul to surrender. If you have understood it to some degree and wish to meet with the angels, yes, inshallah, prepare yourself. Moreover, purify yourself of wrongful prejudice. So that's where the free will also comes into play here, the prejudice part. Now look, the doors of the world of the Quran are open. I like that. Look, the paradise of the Quran is with wide open gates. Just from verse section 38, verse 50. Enter and look. See the angels in beautiful form in the paradise of the Quran. See the angels in beautiful form in the paradise of the Quran. Each of its revealed verses is a place to alight, so look from them. All right, so a few verses from the Quran discussing the angels. So by the winds, I added this
Excuse me,
message.
excuse me.
Yes,
Did this expression, paradise of the Quran, attract your attention?
yes, it did.
Yeah, that's why you underlined it.
Yeah, let's do it again.
Paradise of the Quran. Look, yeah, paradise of the Quran. What does it mean? It is a kind of implication, inference, telling us that if you understand the Quran, you understand the parasitical aspect of this universe. Or other way around, if you really realistically understand the existence of the Quran, excuse me, existence of the universe, and see the angelic side of it, you will understand what the Quran is talking about when it mentions paradise. So this mutual relationship between the Quran and the universe works always, in any case. So we can see it here. How the Quran mentions about paradise and how the universe, through its angelic side, gives the news of the existence of paradise. We can see this exclamation, declaration, proclamation of the angelic side of the beings as to have come from the absolute qualities of their creator. And my spiritual side needs it. So they meet each other. So this interconnection between the universe, the declarations of the Quran, declarations of the universe, and declarations of human spirit, they meet on the same corner, on the same point. It's beautiful to
In,
understand the reality of belief, inshallah.
inshallah, yes. So the doors of the world of the Quran are open. Exclamation mark. Look, the paradise of the Quran is with wide open gates, which is, I think, from the verse of the Quran, 3850. That's what it says. So the whole doors of the Quran inviting, right? Open door means an invitation to me, right? Open doors are open. Paradise of the Quran is wide open gates, is also an invitation. And that happens with to see the angels in beautiful form is when this correlation between the meaningful side of the universe is made. And that's, I can confirm that. And the verses of the Quran mentioning angels make sense as well. I can confirm that from my experience.
Can we quickly share this? It is beautiful. This verse, 38:50, 30
Let me
Safat.
see, 3850. Let's see this one. 3850. Gardens of perpetual bliss with gates wide open to them. Basically, Jannatu Adnim Mufattahat Lahumul Abwab.
Now, we know that in some Urdu language also, do you use miftah? Those people who use their native language, miftah, fetih, are you familiar with these words? Which means open. Meftuh is something is open. Mufattah means, how is it translated here? Wide open. Already wide open. What does it mean? The door of paradise is open. You can enter it freely. You don't have to try to make an excuse of anything. Just open it. It is open. Go and enter it. Like the message of the Quran also, you don't have to try to understand many knowledge, information in order to understand it. Just use your human qualities. You can find that it is open for you. It means you can comfortably confirm it. If only we don't reject our reality, we don't resist our reality and just be free thinking person. It means if I see the truth, I will submit to it. If I don't, I will not. So this comfortable attitude finds the truth. But if I say I'm a Muslim, I don't have to use my reason. That's it. I am a believer. They don't see it. If somebody says no, no, I don't want to accept somebody is superior over me. No, they don't also find the door. But free, comfortable, relaxing attitude towards the reality of existence, towards the reality of human beings, they will definitely find the door open. They will definitely understand the message about the ghaib in the Quran is comfortably acceptable. Mufattah means completely open, never closes, never gets closed. Mufattah. It's interesting word. No, for example, this Safi Kafka's translation. Look at this. Garden of Eden, whose gates will open to them. Completely misleading translation. There is no will open
Yeah,
at.
look, it's already open. Yeah.
No, mufattah.
Good
It's
gates wide
already
open.
open. Yeah, this Muhammad Assad. The gates wide open to them. Yes, the other one also. Gates are open for them. But wide open is important because open means meftuh. Open means meftuh, present participle. Mufattah, uh, hyperbole, form of open. It means never closes. The door of paradise never closes. And the opposite explanation in the Quran about the door of hell is always closed. But if you go and knock at it, then angels open you. Hey, what do you want? Why did you come here? Why do you want? It means you have to force yourself, condition yourself, have prejudice in yourself to enter the door of hell. But whereas the door of paradise, you don't have to condition, you don't have to have any prejudice, just free thinking. And if the truth shows me itself, I will accept. That's so simple. This door is always open, never closes. And the door of hell, I think I'm repeating because it's exciting news in the Quran. There is the ayat about this, but the time is up. Comparing two doors, paradise doors and hell doors. So the door of the hell is always closed, but if you go and knock at it, it is open to you, and the angels don't welcome you. So why did you come here? Crazy, go to open door. Since you come here, get in. And they say, why did you come here? They get angry. It means the wrong option always is against the expectations of human nature. Denial is contradicts human nature. That means that description is not the description of door of hell and physical door of hell, physical door of paradise. It means paradise, the truth, hell is wrongful, wrongfulness or wrong, false. I have to force myself to choose the fourth option, but I don't have to force myself to accept the true conclusion. It is automatic. It is beautiful. This way of reading the Quran really satisfies human beings, inshallah.
Alhamdulillah. Okay. So we have a few more verses to look at. So by the winds, which I think the message, right, sent forth one after another to man's prophet, which then blow violently in tempestuous gusts, and scatter things far and wide, then separate one from another, then spread abroad a message. Section 77, 1 to 5. So I did pull this up. Consider, like Muhammad Asad says, messages. Some say winds, qasas, according to their understanding. والمرسلات عرفا. Let's translate the emissaries, the messenger went sent forth. And the storming on with the tempest force. Consider these messages again in his interpretation that spread the truth far and wide also. So something that spreads far and wide, thus separating with all clarity, and then giving forth a reminder. Okay, so why did Nursi put that in the here? So based on the angelic side of the message that is going through, right? So by the message sent.
Side of the message describing the angelic side of creation.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one is by the angels who tear out the souls of the wicked with violence, by those who gently draw out the souls of the blessed, and by those who gently glide along on errands of mercy, then press forward as if in a race, then arrange to do the commands of their Lord. Just section 79, verses 1 to 5. And then there's another one. Therein come down the angels and the Spirit by God's permission in every errand, which is Quran section 97, verse 4. Over which are appointed angels stern and severe, who flinch not from executing the commands they receive from God, but do precisely what they are commanded. Quran section 66, verse 6. Also listen to glory be to him. They are but servants raised to honor. They speak not before he speaks, and they act in all things by his command. Quran section 21, verses 26 and 27. So listen to its praises, and if you wish to meet with the jinn, enter this resounding surah. So it was angels before, now saying to the jinns, say, it has been revealed to me that a company of jinn listen to the Quran. Section 72, verse 1. See them and listen to what they say. Take a lesson from them. Look, they are saying, we have really heard a wonderful recital. It gives guidance to the right, and we have believed therein. We shall not join in worship any gods with our Lord. Sections 72, 1 and 2, verses 1 and 2, which is one of the sections we study, section Jinn also. Alhamdulillah. All right, so we can stop here because we're at time right now. Any comments or thoughts on these things? The verses. So these are how the Quran's doors are wide open if we kind of use our free will and in the right way, are careful about it. Inshallah. So we'll continue next time with the second name, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين بحرمة سورة الفاتحة.
Now, can I, before
Sure, please go ahead.
yeah, stopping the streaming, yeah, in classical scholars, they are hesitating whether these verses are description of the winds, or some of them said definitely, quite a big number of them, maybe majority of them say these are the description of the actions of angels. But what we learned from the text, that these are the description of the angelic side of the beings. Wind is physical appearance. Are you looking for?
Yeah, I see this guy Ali analysis of angels by the companies of angels in that.
Now, what else? Because the Aliunan is aware of the risale-i.
Oh, okay.
He takes it from there. Calm down, calm down, calm down, 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 down. Oh, this Orientalists. No, Muhammad Ali, go down, down, down.
This
What?
Rashad Khalifa also says angels.
Yeah, mashallah. Yeah. Now, just a minute.
Mohsin Khan.
Now, this is important. Muslim Khan, angels or the messengers of Allah. No, it's irrelevant. Now, because this is Muhsin Khan is Salafi. So, come down, Arthur. What does Orientalists say? Lessons,
George Sale.
angel, yeah, George Sultan, angels we sent down. Next, so those turn if they said they no, nothing more. That's it. I wondered that since opened it. So what we understand from this, these are the description of the Quran, no, Quran's description of the angelic side of this universe. The things are going in this world. Now we can comfortably understand that physical experience may appear to be as a wind or as rain, whatever you say. But angelic side is described and introduced by the Quran to us. That makes sense, and I feel comfortable about the message here in the Quran. Yeah, angelic side is like this.
Got it, inshallah. Yeah. All right. We will stop here. Bismillah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Right, I'll stop here.